If you're watching this, you're most likely aware of what Scrum is. It is a framework within which people can address complex adaptive problems while productively and creatively delivering products of the highest possible value. These people being the product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team. Got it. And while we could dissect the topic of Scrum into thousands of interconnected educational videos, which we most likely will, today we'll focus on the team itself and what qualities will drive it towards becoming the best Scrum team. We'll divide this video into three categories: the product owner, the Scrum Master, and the development team, and you can jump to any one you want by clicking at the timestamp below. So let's start with the product owner. The main responsibility of the product owner is to maximize the value of the product that the development team works on. The product owner is solely responsible for the management of the product backlog, while also developing and maintaining the product vision as well as the market strategy. This means including stakeholders and end users in product backlog refinement and backlog management. And sure, by doing that you essentially fulfill your role, but there's a lot more to it if you want to become a great product owner. So what makes a great product owner? Well, they are a decision maker. A great product owner is not afraid to make a prompt decision, ranging from smaller items to entire product overhauls. And as opposed to the waterfall system, where such decisions are made at the beginning of the project, making such decisions in Scrum requires a lot of agility and critical thinking. It also requires knowledge of the product and a clear vision of what it needs to be. A great product owner also keeps the backlog tidy. Like an Agile Marie Kondo, the product owner does not only keep the backlog ordered, but also knows how to evaluate the importance of each item and does so on a regular basis, based on priority, value, risk, learning opportunities, and dependencies. While we are on the topic of a tidy backlog, a great product owner should always lay out user stories, focusing on the user and their interaction with the product as a backbone to the overall development. This essentially gets rid of feature arguments and lets everyone focus on the bigger picture. Great product owner also understands communication. Knowing what's important for the product is one thing, but being able to convey it in the most appropriate and specific manner is a whole nother skill. A great product owner uses face-to-face communication whenever possible, but they also know how and when to rely on other formats as well as the obstacles that these formats present to convey the vision for their product, ask questions, give feedback, or any other sort of communication. A great product owner is also not a yes man or woman. It's so easy to slide into the yes-manning mode when interacting with your stakeholders or even inspecting the product backlog alone. After all those features sound really great on paper, but a candy store full of amazing features that you're somewhat aware you're not going to be able to implement fully does not only go against the tidy backlog philosophy, it also damages and demotivates your development team. You're setting up false expectations that are not going to be met, not to mention the fact that the final product will have little to no resemblance to the original high concept. Let's move on to the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is responsible for coaching the development team so that it is as cross-functional and as self-organized as possible, removing any and all impediments that affect the team, as well as assisting them in any way possible to create the product of the highest value. So what makes a great Scrum Master? A great Scrum Master understands that Scrum isn't everything. A great Scrum Master doesn't simply swear by it or follow it blindly. Through retrospection and re-evaluation, they understand the weaknesses of the Scrum framework as well as other principles such as Kanban or Lean. And they're also not afraid to use them as they see it fit, as long as they adhere to the Agile concept. This virtue stems both from confidence and experience and separates the beginners from masters. Great Scrum Master is also stealthy. We've all heard the term ninja being thrown around in job opening descriptions, or even more dangerously, personal CVs, marketing ninja, SEO ninja, and similar, all denoting a superb level of skill. However, a Scrum Master ninja would be someone who does not only excel at their job, but does so swiftly and unnoticeably. great Scrum Master doesn't unnecessarily disturb their team. They remain in the shadows, silently observing, waiting for the perfect time to strike. Apart from being a ninja, a great Scrum Master can also predict the future. So while any good Scrum Master can and should resolve any impediments their team may encounter, a great Scrum Master can predict them based on their previous experiences and act on them beforehand, thus eliminating the issue completely, essentially making them a wizard ninja. Sometimes a great Scrum Master lets their team fail on purpose. And if you're asking yourself why on earth would someone do that, think of it from the perspective of educating kids. As a good parent, you want to protect your kids from harm at all costs. But there are times when a lesson is best learned not from preaching to them, but letting them commit the mistake and own up to it. And this is something only a great Scrum Master can do when they really see a necessity for it. And finally, a great Scrum Master is a natural facilitator. Attending Scrum events, which are hosted simply for the sake of it, is a tedious waste of time. I've personally seen many developers complain and criticize the Scrum framework, while in fact their arguments were aimed at their Scrum Masters. A great Scrum Master hosts events that are extremely well prepared. They are more fun, they have a clear outcome. Moreover, they make sure the team is fully aware of the focus and benefits of each single event. And that brings us to the development team. So the Scrum Guide defines the development team as cross-functional professionals who are collectively responsible for all the work necessary to produce working, validated assets. They are self-organizing and they do not have titles or sub-teams. Their commitment is to achieve each and every sprint goal defined and deliver a high-quality increment. Now, what can be a great developer team? A great developer team is truly cross-functional. That team aims at not having any defined roles within their team, but rather aims at delivering a quality product as a team. Of course, this doesn't mean that anyone should just pick any item of the backlog without even considering whether they can achieve and deliver it, but bearing responsibility for each item as a team will create a higher quality product. Such responsibility creates a much better understanding of the product itself. It positively influences brainstorming sessions, conversations, and gives innovative left field ideas. A great developer team also doesn't rely on the definition of done. And this one may seem a little controversial, but it isn't. Not having to rely on the definition of done means fully understanding what your product is and all its requirements. It means full investment into creating the very best product that you can and being able to fully stand behind it as a team. And of course, this doesn't mean that the definition of done is obsolete. It really isn't. It is an absolute requirement for transparency towards stakeholders, but it is also something that each developer should know deep in their heart. A great developer team also makes time for innovation. They don't just simply tick off the checklist or move the items as soon as they're done. That tends to produce mediocre, uninspiring products. They make time for constant reevaluation, asking themselves, is this the best implementation of what we've set to achieve? Or how can we make it better? This does create new challenges, but also much bigger rewards and, if nothing else, food for thought. A great developer team also knows its customer. And knowing customer does not only mean understanding their requirements, that goes without saying. It means completely distancing yourself from, well, yourself, and putting away everything you know to be true, in order to deliver the precise thing that they actually need. Your touch will still be there one way or another, but it is important not to let the ego dictate the final shape of your product. It is precisely why user stories exist in the first place, to give the developer a deeper insight into the customer's mind, and great developers make use of it. And last but not least, a great developer team criticizes ideas, not people. And maybe this is a bit of an obvious one, so instead of talking about how beneficial it is, let's talk about the dangers of not adhering to that rule on a daily basis. Inside the invisible bounds of your team exists something that we'll call a safe space. Not a comfort zone, mind you, but a space where ideas can flow without the fear of unacceptance or permanent consequences. That is not to say there shouldn't be any unacceptance, but it should be targeted towards the ideas themselves. You want everyone in your team to be able to express anything they want at any given time, because if they don't, first of all, these ideas are gone forever, and second of all, so is the team spirit. An individual can quickly lose the motivation to contribute to the product ideas-wise and soon performance-wise too, and you've created a dysfunctional team. So talk and share and express whatever it is. So that would conclude our selected qualities of what makes a great Scrum team. If you find we've missed some important qualities, do let us know in the comments below.